Dr. Carl. He was a little late to the show tonight, so he's been tipping back on Grandpa's cough medicine, so I had to help him up to the mic tonight. Um, hey everybody, I'm Jason Oliveira, in case you didn't know, and this is The Road to 40, my nightly vlog where I talk about, well, whatever I feel like talking about. We're over the hump, folks. We're halfway home, over halfway home at this point, and I hope you're still enjoying them. This is going to be another quick one tonight, just because I got nothing. What I did want to talk about is any musicians might find this interesting. I've always wanted a Les Paul. I bought a Les Paul 4 or 5 years ago, 6 years ago. I traded some stuff in and got a pretty good deal on it. The problem is I never really practiced with it. I usually used it as my backup guitar. And the problem I always have had with it is the location of the toggle switch. I know we've talked about this before, but today I brought it down and I actually played with it, not just using it to play the way I would my SG at a show or something. And there's tight wound strings on there, so they're really smooth. I kind of like them, but my fingers hurt a lot, although I haven't really played in 2 weeks. A little here and there at night, but like not 2 hours of playing straight or something like that. And I'm starting to rethink. I'm starting to really like the guitar. I'd like to hear it through a good tube amp. I want to get a good tube amp, and I'm thinking about, I don't know, I got to sell something because I can't afford a tube amp. But I'm trying to think of something inexpensive, and I think I keep coming back to the Vox AC70 series or something like that. I don't know. They seem to get really good reviews wherever I look them up. I'd love to get like a whole Marshall setup just because it's so classic to have the Marshall and the Gibson together like that. It's like Romeo and Juliet or Fred and that other guy, Barney. So that's my next hunt, is to find a very inexpensive tube amp. I've seen Vox used at the guitar place around here. I'm not a big fan of them. I'd rather go to like Opelman or even one of the, well, he is a pawn shop, but one of the other pawn shops, because they always have some decent stuff. Not all the time, but most of the time you can go in and usually find something. Usually it's not what you're looking for at the time, though. That's always the worst, when you're like, oh my god, I would love to have that Les Paul. I have the money to buy that Les Paul, but I need an amp. That hurts. It's always a painful situation. I know we shouldn't desire such, I don't know, materialistic things, but it's not. It's an art too, and to have something that you like to play and really, I've had a few guitars that I've had for a very long time. I'll never get rid of, just because I like them that much. I mean, they may be replaced one day with a new standard up front, but as of right now, it's my SG. I love that thing. It's really light, easy to play, fun to play. And then this Les Paul that I had, it's just a studio model. It's a 2006, I think, or 2007. Which, if it's a 2006, it would be nice to keep, because that was the year I got married. And if it's 2007, that was the year that Grayson was born. So I have something that's as old as him. I don't know. Maybe am I corny? I'm corny. I cling on to things, old traditions sometimes. I have a hard time getting over old traditions, or at least my family traditions. That ball just keeps coming back in my hand. I don't know what it is. Dogs are getting into something. Those bastards. There's pizza out there, so I'm going to go check in just a minute. If you have any suggestions, if you're a musician or have a tube amp for sale, let me know. Let me know what you think about different tube amps. Marshall, I guess, is pretty much a standard, but Fender's got a lot of those really nice little combo amps that are tube amps that sound phenomenal. It's that Tweed model, I think, that's really cool. But that's gonna be 20 years old now. I think I was in high school when those came out. Well, the reissues, not the originals. I'd like an original. Who wouldn't? I saw a guitar online that I've always had an interest in. It's a Telestar, and it comes with the case that has an amp built into it. It's just a shitty little amp, but it's just kind of a neat thing. I think that'd be kind of something fun to have. I've gotten out of music. For a long time, all my money, free money, which obviously that's been at least 15, 20 years, would go to music equipment, new guitars. I'd get like a new guitar every year. And the funny thing is, let me tell you the story, and I'll let you go. I think it was taxes year 99, 2000. I decided this year I was going to get a Paul Reed Smith top-of-the-line custom 24 with the quilted maple top, gray, single cut, with the abalone birds going up the neck. It's always been a guitar I've always wanted, a nice Paul Reed Smith. So I must have been 19 or 20 at the time. I don't know, maybe Gwen was born, so maybe it was after 98. So that's 16, maybe 15 years ago. Nonetheless, it's a while ago. I went in. They didn't have the one exactly one I wanted, so I decided I'd play a bunch of them, see if I found something that I really like. I must have gone through 6 Paul Reed Smith. Hated every single one of them. Hated playing them. Hated the way they felt. They feel. I like the way they feel. I'm so stupid sometimes. I should just smack myself. The weight of them. The neck was really wide on most of them that I played, and there were some really thin ones too, but yeah, nothing about it did I like. I felt like the action on all of them was a little too high, or higher than I was used to. I was about to give up, throw in the towel, and go to another music store when I passed this little thing that I wish I still had. I need to find out if I can get one of those on eBay. It was, I can't tell you when, well, yeah, it has to be around that time, sorry. I got taxes back that year. I've got my debit card in my pocket ready to go. And this little shiny Dan Electro jumps out at me and says, hey, I know you were playing those Paul Reed Smiths, and I'm just a little old reissue guitar, but could you give me a whirl? It's kind of how I felt. I felt like almost embarrassed at first to pick it up because they weren't cool at the time, I don't think. I think they were just cheap guitars that looked all like flashy and stuff. And so I picked it up, brought it in the room, and the cool thing about it is it had its 3-way selector for the 2 pickups, a lipstick. Oh, mine had 3 pickups, 2 lipstick tube and a humbucker. So you had your 1, 2, I think it was a 5-way selector. Yeah. And then you had this, around your volume was this little, it wasn't the volume, it was the tone knob, I think. That you could change like the shape of the sound, kind of like when you're going, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? That was so ridiculous. I was actually calling the giraffes and news. I don't know where I come up with these things sometimes. I think I'm just starting to lose it. Anywho, yeah, so I played this thing, and I got so many different sounds out of it just by changing a knob here or there, or like playing on a different pickup. And I was like, oh my god, like, this has got some great sounds. And it was like, the guitar I was looking at was about $2,500. The guitar I ended up buying was like $350 or $400. I think it was $400. And so he's ringing that up and getting that already. I can tell by looking in his eye he's not too happy because I've been bugging him for like 2 hours to take down like way off the top of their wall some of their guitars and stuff. And here I am going from buying a $2,500 guitar to buying a $400 guitar. It's silly that we're willing to pay. But certain things, like, I think a good Les Paul sounds good. I think every Les Paul sounds good. I haven't heard a Les Paul that I was like, ooh. Even the Epiphones sound really good. But I'm just a snob when it comes to the Epiphones. I don't know. I know that's horrible. I shouldn't feel that way. It's like going back to high school and like having to have the good sneakers or something like that. But to me, it means a lot to have a legitimate American-made, you know, like, it doesn't have to be American-made, but I like, in a case of a guitar like this, that's pretty cool. That it's made right here, you know, maybe down in Nashville or one of their other plants. I think they have 2 in the United States. I can't remember. But it'd be nice to have a really good one with the body binding and the just, I don't know, probably like a desert burst top. Or they used to have another one that was a little orangey, but it wasn't the red one. I hate the red one. All right, I'm going to let you guys go. I'm just going to go drool over some pictures of guitars now. You guys have a great night. Thank you for always coming back. If you're loving watching these as much as I'm loving making them, please subscribe and pass them along to anybody who you might know who might be interested in watching me talk about guitars and aliens Jesus. From time to time. Ain't that right, Dr. Kalmichin? That's right, Mr. Oliveira. A lot of people have been calling me out on my lips moving. They're not. Shut up. All right, you guys have a great night. Don't forget to make somebody smile tomorrow. Make yourself a better person tomorrow than you were tomorrow. Let's make the world spin a little bit happier together. I'm Jason Oliveira, and I'm just all about making people happy. So I hope everybody's happy. If not, get happy. All right, I'll see you guys a little further on down the road.